Now that's more like it. Russell Wilson and company on the offensive side of the ball looking much sharper here on day 2 of Broncos training camp. Hello and thank you for joining us for our daily recap. I'm Phil Milani alongside Nick Ferguson and Aric DiLalla. Nick, let's start with you. What did you see from these guys today?
Better execution. If you look at Russell today, I think every pass that he attempted, every receiver actually caught it, even the short ones. But for me, it's fascinating to see the relationship develop between Tim Patrick, Russell Wilson, and one guy who I know who's taken a lot of scrutiny and criticism by some outside media, and that's Jeudy. They were finding ways to get him involved with the offense, and as long as they continue to build on that, this offense is going to be one of the better ones in the NFL.
It did seem like Russ was targeting Jeudy a lot here today. What did you see, Aric?
Yeah, obviously Jeudy was a big part of it. His catch kind of in the first half of practice was maybe the highlight of the day there as he caught a crossing route. Cortland kind of made some space for him there on the side of the field. I liked the varying levels of the offense. They attack short, they attack the middle of the field, they attack deep. You want to see that from your offense, and I thought despite kind of looking in these different areas of the field, they were still efficient in everything they did. Russell got the ball out quick, which we've talked about in his career. Sometimes he holds onto the ball a little bit. Today we saw him get it out quick, and that's what I think this offense should look like when it's rolling.
Yeah, I think this just looked more like what we were expecting from this Broncos offense. When a guy like Russell Wilson comes in, you're like, all right, this is going to really jumpstart things. We saw that today a little bit.
Well, yeah, that's a big part, and I just want to piggyback off what Aric was talking about. When you look at developing a passing game and being able to tackle on all different levels, that puts a lot of stress on opposing defenses and say, well, which guy are we going to take out of the lineup this week? But you have so many weapons at disposal for Russell, so this is going to be a really productive year for Russell in this offense if they continue to build on that chemistry.
Talking about the offense, looked good today, but this defense is pretty good too, particularly the secondary. We heard from Pat Surtain, the second here on this Thursday, said maybe the best secondary in football. He said at least top 5. What do you think, Nick?
Of course. I mean, it may sound a little biased because I'm a defensive guy myself, but I actually believe that because, once again, this is a situation where you have defense feeding and bleeding over into the offense because if they can stop teams, they can get those turnovers. Now that's extra possessions for Wilson and his offense to execute.
You mentioned giving more possessions for the offense. Well, they should also be able to play with the lead more. And so, opposing offenses are going to have to throw the ball down the field. They're going to have to chase points. That's good for a guy like Pat Surtain, Justin Simmons. We saw them fight back toward the end of practice a little bit. Justin Simmons had a great PBU down the field that Nathaniel Hackett called amazing. Pat Surtain had one where Cortland Sutton had the ball in his hands. Surtain still knocked it away. I think Garrett Bowles in his press said, I don't know what you do against a guy like Pat Surtain. He'll eat you alive.
That's a fun matchup to watch during training camp, Pat Surtain and Cortland Sutton. Here's what Surtain had to say after practice.
I believe we're a top 5 secondary. Day in and day out, just the talent all across the board, the veteran leadership we have. We just come out here and make plays each and every day. So I believe we're a top 5 secondary, even a top secondary in the league. So, we're just going to keep on proving that and keep on showcasing our abilities. So
let's talk a little bit about the guys up front who are going to be protecting Russell Wilson, an important job here. This O-line not really set just yet, Nick. What do you make of them always rotating guys in and out?
Well, I actually like it. Now, most people would say, well, you want to stabilize your offensive line and make sure that there's not a rotation, but I like the rotation, and here's why. That means that there's a lot of versatility. You can move guys from tackle to tackle, guys who are now playing center, they can play right guard or left guard. We know this is a long season, guys get beat up, and you're gonna need interchangeable guys who understand the system, and that's a whole lot better than going out and getting someone off the street and bringing them in. So I like the versatility that this offensive line has.
Yeah, I mean, right now that competition's still going on, especially at right guard today. We saw some rotating there. You're obviously going to have some of that at right tackle as the Broncos figure out what to do there with some of their injuries. But I think really I'm interested to see when the pads come on, how does the athleticism translate? Because in this scheme, you got to get off the ball fast, you got to be able to run. A few years ago, Garrett Bowles, I still remember a play where he pulled all the way across the line against Miami. He showed his ability to get out in space. He's a guy that this system works really well for. Now I think Nathaniel Hackett, Butch Berry, Justin Outten, they've got to see which other guys this system fits as well.
Really, the one spot that's really solidified is Garrett Bowles, and we've been waiting for this soundbite from Garrett Bowles, this answer, talking about Russell Wilson, and finally today he delivered.
You all know my quote from my rookie year. You touch my quarterback, it's like touching my wife, and you're going to have a problem. So And that's just how it is. So it doesn't really matter who's back there. It's nice knowing that, we have, a future Hall of Famer, a guy that's been in the league that's seen a lot of different things.
Garrett Bowles, really funny up there at the podium, said that he thinks this offense might light it up the sky like it's the 4th of July.
Isn't that a lyric from a song? What song?
I don't know, Nick.
But listen, he is absolutely right. But you want to make sure that your guys and everyone on the offensive side of the ball, they come with that type of confidence that Garrett Bowles is actually talking about. And since we're speaking about the offensive line, a lot of moving parts. Right tackle hasn't been solidified just yet. Hopefully, as we start to go along in camp, Billy Turner comes back. Maybe Cam Fleming can be a guy. But if they can protect Russell, this could be a high-powered offense in the NFL.
And it's always hard because Russ is so mobile back there. It almost is like there's two plays. The first play, when it's not there, Russ takes off, and then you got to adjust as an O-line. Aric, any injuries that you want to update us on today? You're the injury guy.
It was pretty quiet today. Everybody was out there. Tom Compton not on PUP yet, but Greg Dulcich, it looked like, may have done a little bit there toward the end of practice. Still working him in slowly.
Okay, knock on wood. The Broncos healthy here through 2 days of camp. That's going to do it for us. We'll be back again tomorrow. Until then, for Aric DiLalla and Nick Ferguson, I'm Phil Milani. This has been our Broncos Training Camp Daily Recap.